Good morning, John. Gas prices are high, or at least higher than they have been. Maybe someday we'll look back on now and be like, boy, gas prices sure were cheap then. But a result of the gas prices being high is that someone emailed me and said, would it be cheaper for me to take a cow to work? I've been thinking a lot about something that Helen Hunt said to me, which is a pretty cool sentence. Honestly, it kind of destroyed me. I should put on socks. I was asking her why she had never done like a one-woman show or stand-up comedy, and she was like, well, the thing that I love about the theater is not the stage, it's the cooperation, it's the collaboration, it's working with all of these other people and creating something together. The price of a cow is actually, John, historically high. Like, get it in your head. The kind of cow that you would just sort of feed for its whole life and then kill and turn into food. How much do you think that kind of cow costs? Did you know that your body odor can change when you get chemotherapy? And so I sat there having to kind of deal with the reality that the thing Helen Hunt loved most about the theater is the thing that is most scary for me about it. Now, this body odor thing is probably not because of the actual like chemicals of the treatment inside of your body. Probably, we think, what's happening is that the sebaceous glands in your armpits and stuff, they don't produce as much stuff. They like go into a dormant phase because of the stress of the treatment. And so they don't produce that stuff. The bacteria don't have that stuff to eat. And because they're not eating, they're not excreting the stuff that has the smell. Which does make me think, like, there are animals, like our dogs, for example, that are like really sensitive to smell. Like, that's a lot of how they experience the world. And so does going through chemotherapy change how a dog feels about their owner? I want to be on the stage and be entirely in control. She wants to be on the stage and be entirely in collaboration. Even a feeder cow these days is going to cost upward of $2,500. And that's certainly a lot less than your average used car, but that's just the cost of the cow. You then got to figure out where to put the cow and how to feed the cow. The average weekly amount of food you got to put into a cow is going to cost like $75. Again, that might be cheaper than your weekly gas bill, but we have not gotten to the hard part yet. A long time ago, John, you and I made a weird decision, and it's the kind of decision that seems very strange now, but like had a really good reason at the time, but I like have forgotten about the reason why we did it, and so it's just like this strange thing that we do, but there's a reason. In kind of the same way that we've never felt like Complexity's value was our value, we've kind of felt the same way about the money generated by this YouTube channel, by Vlogbrothers, but the story is actually a bit weirder than that. Why am I like this? Why does standing on a stage by myself make me feel safe, but standing on a stage with a bunch of other people make me feel scared? And then Helen Hunt basically asked me that question. And there's only one answer that I have come up with that I like. Of course, in cancer treatment, there's a lot of really important things to spend money on, and whether your dog is confused by your body odor changing is not one of them. But I am curious if people have like anecdotal experiences of this. It's obviously something with a lot of confounders. It'd be really easy to imagine your dog is acting differently, even if they actually aren't really. Maybe they're just acting differently because you're sick and you feel bad and they know that. I wish we knew more. Anyway, it reminds me of a study that came out in 2016. A long time ago, YouTube had no ads, if you can believe that. And then it had ads that were like in the sidebar, and you got a little cut of those. And then YouTube was like, okay, we're going to introduce an ad that's going to play before the video. And you and I, for like over a year after that feature launched, never turned it on. Eventually, though, that new kind of ad format became very normal. Everybody just kind of expected it. And we could see how much money other people were making from those ads. And it was just like leaving a bunch of money just sort of sitting there. The real problem, of course, is not cost. And I think we've all figured this out by now. Cows walk a stately 2 to 3 miles per hour, which is going to turn your commute into a very long and uncomfortable relationship with the back of a cow. A commute that would be, it's worth saying, significantly faster if you walked. Also, while the emissions from a car are not like good for the environment, at least you don't have to like pick them up off the ground. So there I was, talking with my high school crush, the amazing Helen Hunt, who has an IMDb credit in like every one of the last 45 years. And she wants me to tell her why I want to perform alone while the great joy of the theater for her is collaboration. I come up, of course, in the moment with nothing, but since then I have come up with this. It has been a great joy, John, to share a stage with you. So that's the story of how I was absolutely destroyed by my high school crush as a 46-year-old man. The podcast that I interviewed Helen on, Humans, launches next week on Thursday. The Helen Hunt episode will be the third episode, I think. This 2016 study looked at whether you could kill the microbes in somebody's armpits and then transplant the microbes from somebody else's armpits into their armpits, thus changing their body odor. And this is important because some people have very distinct and strong body odor and would rather not. Now, it isn't just the microbiome that matters here. There's other stuff that matters, but early results of these armpit bacteria transplants show that they can have real results.
We convinced ourselves that the way that we would make it make sense to take this money was that half of it would go into a pool that would be granted out to small educational creators, initially YouTubers, but now multiple platforms. And we've been doing that for over 10 years now, and we've given out dozens of these grants. Grant applications for the Vlogbrothers educational creator grants, I don't know what to call them, open on Monday, June 1st. So if you know somebody who might be good for that, or if you are that person, check it out. There's information in the description.
I like to think that they did the armpit bacteria transplant just by having two people rub their armpits together. Seems like the best way to do it. Also, maybe the most important thing of all in this video, maybe more important to the answer of whether you should ride to work on a cow, is that right now is your last chance to get a 2026 Crash Course coin. If you want to get one, the time is when? Now. The time is now. If you want to help a bunch of people who are working their butts off to make really great, engaging, educational video, to help people in their studies in school, to help people build their curiosity muscles, to help people become better citizens, to help people better understand the marvelous and bizarre universe that they are a part of. You could do that now, but you will not be able to do that when the next Vlogbrothers video gets uploaded. I don't know exactly when the sale stops. Sometime this weekend. Just do it now. Thank you. I appreciate it very much. These are all things that we are working hard on at Complexly, and the Crash Course team and the Complexly team has so many ideas for the things that we want to do. And yes, we are now a nonprofit, so donations are tax deductible, and you don't have to pay sales tax on the coins, and we'll just send them to you and they'll do good. They'll do good in the world, and they will allow the Crash Course team to reach a bunch of new people. Give it a think. It's your last chance. There's a link in the description. In short, John, if you're thinking about taking a cow to work, you should get a bike. I'll see you on Tuesday.